Victor Gao joining us here on RT International. And Victor, a very warm welcome to you. It does seem like China's mediation has certainly brought some good results. Any other positive developments we can expect for that region, do you think?
Thank you very much. Yes, indeed. In 2023, China exercised good offices and the mediation to bring the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Iran together. Now, this rapprochement was very difficult to achieve because for historical reasons, political reasons, Iran and Saudi Arabia did not get along well. Now, China was a good friend of both Iran and Saudi Arabia. And starting from last year, China decided to use its friendship with Saudi Arabia on the one hand and Iran on the other hand to bring them together to achieve the rapprochement. Now, they not only restored the diplomatic relations, exchanged ambassadors, and now they are poised to make more progress in mutual cooperation. And you may also know both Saudi Arabia and Iran are members of the BRICS organization. And I think with such participation in the same organization, they will get closer to each other, understand each other, and decide to do more cooperation. Now, China will be very happy to promote such cooperation between Iran and Saudi Arabia. In the sense, China is serving as a guarantor of their friendship, renewed friendship. And I think given the special influence that each of these two countries exercise in the Muslim world, their rapprochement and friendship and closer cooperation will really bode well for the Muslim world, for the Arab world, and for every Islamic believer throughout the world. So this is a very positive development, and I hope China will do more to promote such rapprochement between and among other countries in the world.
Victor, I think you make a really good point, and I'm so glad you brought up the BRICS aspect of it all as well. Saudi Arabia and Iran are two of the newest members joining BRICS. And when you talk about China being the mediator of this rapprochement between Riyadh and, of course, Tehran, do you think, obviously China must have mentioned the whole BRICS idea to them, but do you think China in any way presented them with incentives to have this rapprochement, to be friends again, do you think?
Well, from the Chinese perspective, Iran and Saudi Arabia have all the reasons to be friendly towards each other because their mutual suspicion, their hostility, their alienation from each other really do themselves no good and also will tear apart the Muslim world at large. Therefore, China sees all the reasons to promote such rapprochement. China itself does not have any vested interest in this. But when we talk to Saudi Arabia on the one hand and Iran on the other hand, we always emphasize the great contribution of peace and friendship between and among nations, especially considering the very special role that Iran and Saudi Arabia play among the Muslim countries in the world. So I think we emphasize on the positive side, we emphasize on all the benefits they can gather, and for both of them to become members of the BRICS organization eventually also bode well for cooperation. You may know when we talk about the BRICS organization, there are quite a few energy countries in the BRICS framework, including Saudi Arabia, UAE, Iran, and Russia, for example. China itself is also a large contributor and producer of energy of all kinds. Therefore, the BRICS cooperation will really need to develop a very heavy focus on energy cooperation for all the members themselves, as well as for all the other friendly countries in the world.
Yeah, I think you make a very good point there, Victor. I appreciate you saying that. I wanted to ask you because, on topic at this meeting was Palestine and taking into account the Chinese experience in promoting peace. I know that after the October the 7th Hamas attacks in Gaza, pretty soon after that, an Arab League delegation went to China, basically asking for help. Now we know that, in recent months and in the past year, we've seen China working as a mediator to help bring peace in certain parts of the world. Do you think China can in some way help to present that of a solution to the ongoing conflict in Gaza? It is the biggest hotspot right now.
Indeed, my understanding is that from the very beginning, China has been actively promoting the two-state solution as the only viable solution to solve this Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And China has been urging on all parties involved to restore the border of Palestine to the 1967 border, and also to restore East Jerusalem as the capital city of the state of Palestine. Now, I think China is not only talking about the right thing, but also is making its tremendous amount of effort to put its weight on Israel on the one hand and Palestine on the other hand to move in the right direction, because the consistent and never-ending hostility and the deprivation of the legitimate rights of the Palestinian people will not create lasting peace for either Israel or Palestine. It will deprive the Arab world and the Middle East of lasting peace. Therefore, from the Chinese perspective, the only right thing to do is to promote a better settlement and solution of all the legitimate rights of the Palestinian people, to view the Palestinian people as human beings, as much as to look as Israelis as human beings, is the only right way going forward. Therefore, I think China is actively promoting the legitimate goals for the Palestinian people. And it is difficult, I understand, because Israel has the full support of the United States and some Western countries. And this support is actually tearing apart the Western world. If you go to the United States, you see a lot of people, including Palestinians, the Arabs, as well as some Israelis and Jewish people, demanding that ceasefire be achieved as quickly as possible to end the suffering of the civilians in Palestine, in Gaza in particular. And I think China is joining all these forces to call on Israel to stop the war, to achieve ceasefire, to end the hostilities against the Palestinian people, and to restore the legitimate rights of the Palestinian people. I truly believe China will stand very firmly to defend the legitimate rights of the Palestinian people, especially those suffering in Gaza. It is truly a human tragedy to see that about 75% of the civilians killed in Gaza are women and children. This is unacceptable by any standard for the international community today. And I think any decent person in the world should join forces together to call upon Israel to stop the killing of the Palestinians, especially the Palestinian civilians, especially the women and children in Gaza.
Well, let's see if Israel actually decides to listen to that of the ICJ and potentially the ICC as well. Victor Gao, Chair Professor at the Sukhou University, joining us live in Beijing. It's always great to see you. Thank you very much.